In the last movie, we were able to get the structure for the blog section of the document in place. Now, the problem is it doesn't appear the way that we want it to appear. And if we scroll up towards the top of the page, we can see that this hello section closely resembles that of the blog section. Now, what you don't want to do is rewrite everything that we wrote for the hello section. So we're going to modify our CSS so we can simply apply what we wrote in the hello section to the blog section. If we come back to our editors and we take a look at the style sheet and the HTML file, first, if we take a look at the HTML file, we can see that we're using P class category, and we're also using the article class for the div element. Now you'll notice that this is all contained within a div that has an ID of blog. But if we were to take a look at the div element that contains the content for the hello section, we can see that it too uses the category class for the paragraph element. And if we were to continue to drill down, we would see that we also use the article class. So what we want to do is reuse the code that we already wrote for this hello section for our blog section. So let's come back to style.css and scroll up to the hello section of rules that we wrote, and let's see if we really need them to be that specific. If we scroll up, we can see that we have, let me just scroll up just a little bit more. We can see that we have hello p category. There's really no reason why this has to be within the hello div ID, so we can just remove that. We can do the same thing for the anchor element, so let's go ahead and remove that. And then if we scroll down, we can see that we're also having a hover element, so we can get rid of that as well, so it's a pseudo selector there. This takes care of the P category element. So if we save this and we return back to the browser, this blog section should now match the hello section, and it does. So that's perfect. Now we want this header and this body of text and the button to match that of the content up top. So let's go ahead and explore how we can do that. Let's come back to our editors. We're taking a look at the article section now. Again, let's just not write such specific rules. I want to get rid of the hello ID portion for these elements. Now we also have buttons within the blog section, and here you can see that we have some classes that specifically target the hello ID. Let's go ahead and remove that. The rest are pretty particular in terms of the slider, so let's scroll down and ignore that for now. But if we do scroll down far enough, you'll see that there's a class called button. We want to use that for the bottom section. So let's go ahead and save the CSS file, come back to the index file, and what we need to do here in the index file is make sure that we have an anchor element here. So the anchor element is going to use the href attribute, and we're going to use the placeholder of a £, and the same thing with the title attribute. But specifically now what we need to do is add the class btn, and that's going to make this look like the buttons in the hello section. Now if we quickly come back to the monoplate.psd file inside of Photoshop, we can see that that button should read more. So let's come back to our editors and change this text buttons to read more. So I think we're in pretty good shape here. If we go ahead and save this and come back to the browser and we refresh or reload the page, you'll notice now that the text down here in the blog section matches that of the hello section. And if we scroll down far enough to see the button, you'll notice its style too matches the style up top here, complete with mouse over effects. So the only thing that we have left is this icons section. If we come back to Photoshop for a second, we can see that we have icons for the post date, the tag, and also any comments or responses to this blog post. So that's what we're going to take care of in the next movie. And as you can imagine, we're going to store these pieces of artwork into that ico.png file.